the lesson number 10, the page Gimel, the third, the right column, the line 16, Ot Bet, and above the line 3, in the line 3 of the text of the Zohar, we are starting the Ot Bet 2. Ulevatar Yitkar Zimna Achra Amai Yitkar Zimna Achra Begin Leafka for Chabesh Alin Takifin de Sacharin Lishoshana. Point. Remember that even only reading of the plain text of the Zohar helps and brings recovery, brings benedictions, even without understanding a word. This is what our Chachamim, our wise people used to say. And try again and again, prepare yourself adequately for what we are doing. Take everything what you can, and even more. Go above your earthly mind. What it means, step by step you will learn. The Kabbalah means still going beyond your mind. The line 3, Ot Bet. Ulevatar, and afterwards, Yitkar Zimna Achra, it is mentioned another time. What we will hear, but now I translate it only plain, give the plain translation. Amai Yitkar Zimna Achra, and try just follow, look at these words and listen. Amai, why Yitkar? Why is it mentioned Zimna Achra another time? Begin because Leafka, in order to Leafka, to bring out for Chamesh Alin Takifin, 5 tough or rigid leaves, the Zohar in the Shoshana, that surround the Shoshana, the lily. Here just listen, I don't interpret anything. That is the text of the Zohar, just translation, plain translation, whilst you are just looking and trying to follow the text and combine it with words, connected to the English words of translation. Point. And we don't look for the literary translation. I mean literally, of course, literary translation, but not like literature. Remember this. Point. Ve'inon chamesh ikron yeshuot. Ve'inon chamesh, and these 5 ikron yeshuot are called salvations. Salvations, maybe there is no use the word salvation. I don't know whether it is also used in plural, but in Aramaic is the plural. Ve'inon, and these, first to read it. Ve'inon, the next page, Dalet, the first line. Chamesh tarain, and they are the page Dalet. Chamesh tarain, 5 gates. Point. Val razada ktiv kos yeshuot esa da kos shel bracha. One after the point. Va'al razada, and about this secret, ktiv is written. And then he cites a verse from the Tehillim, from the Psalms. Kos Yeshua Esa, the, how do you call it, the cup of the salvation, in plural, salvations, I will rise up. I will rise. Da kos shel bracha. And this he comments. The Zohar says, that is the kos shel bracha, the cup of benediction. 2. Kos shel bracha itztarich lemehave al 5 atzba'an velo yatir kegavna de shoshana. 3. De yatva al 5 alin takifin dugma de 5 atzba'an. Point. Even we don't understand the word, what does it mean, everything? Doesn't matter. You go above your understanding, your desire to understand and to grasp things, to surmount things, and in advance, you just listen And then this is with such an attitude, you will receive it. You will receive what is written here, the benedictions, all the things what is written here are the layers of spirituality. To cause shel bracha, the cap of benediction, its tarich lemehavit, has to be al chamesh atzbain, has to be literally upon five fingers, velo yatir, and not more. Gegavna, as in the same way as the Shoshana, as the lily. 3. The Yatva al Chamesh al Intakifin, that literally sits, that is placed, al Chamesh, upon 5, al Intakifin, upon 5 rigid leaves. Dugma Chamesh Atzbain, that resembles the 5 fingers, as 5 fingers, as in the comparison with 5 fingers. Point. Zohar uses this special language and gives us these different kinds of associations that qualify the spiritual objects, terms, to give us the feeling for spirituality. Point 3, after the point. V'shoshana, da ihi kos for shel bracha, me'elokim tinyana, ad Elokim plita chamesh tevin. Point 3, after the point. V'shoshana, and the Shoshana, da ihi kos shel bracha, that is the cup for shel bracha, of benediction. Me'elokim tinyana, from the Elokim, from the name Elokim, tinyana, from the second name of the Elokim. Ad Elokim tlita'a, till the third mentioning of Elokim. Chamesh tevin, there are 5 words. Point. Mikan ulehal'a, 5. Or the idbare v'idganis, v'idkalil bebrit hahu, the alba shoshana, ve'afik ba, the next page, the page 5, line 1, zera, point. Then turning back to the page, dalet. the line 4, after the point. Mikanu lehal'a, from here and on, and further, and further. 5. Or the idbari with ganis, the light that was created with ganis and has been hidden. With Kalil v'Brit Hahu, and it was included in this Brit, in this covenant, the Ael B'Shoshana, that came into that entered the Shoshana, came into the Shoshana. Ve'apigba, and brought out in here, the next page, Hey 5, Zara, and brought in here, brought out into here, Zara, the seed, just seed, point. Vida, and here we read it, the first word as Veda, so the last letter is, here looks like Het, but it is Hey. Veda Ikre Etz Ose Pri Asher Zar'o Bo. Vida, and this one, Ikre Etz, is called Etz, the tree, or a tree, or sepri, that makes, literally, that makes fruit. Asher zar obo, that the seed, that seed is in it. Point. Vehahu zera kaima baot to breed mamash. Vehahu zera, and this seed, the next word is, you see the letter Kuf, and then you see two apostrophes, yes? This must be two letters Yud. Vehahu zera, and this seed, kaima, existing, standing, ba'ot, to breed mamash, in the in the sign of the breed, as in the sign of the covenant, exactly in the sign of the covenant. A lot of things that he told us, many definitions, many different terms and comparisons, and we are turning back to the page Gimel 3, and then in Hasulam, the right column, the line 16, Ot Bet. And now we are starting the Hasulam, and normally he gives us the plain translation of the Aramaic text of the Zohar, and with it, and adds to it some words to make it fluent, the translation. Because the language of the Zohar is very laconic. 16. Ot bet. Ulevatar, itkar, and afterwards it is mentioned, v'chule, etc. Double point. V'achar kach, niskar 17, Shem Elokim, Pam Acheret, Dehainu, Elokim, Mrachevet, 18, Gomer. Ve'achar kach, and afterwards, Niskar Shem Elokim, the name Elokim was mentioned. You see, he adds some words. 17. Pa'am acheret, another time. Dahainu, that means Elokim, the name Elokim, in the Torah, in the Breshit, Torah Breshit, in the beginning. Elokim, Rachevet, the Elokim, Mrachevet means like moves above the waters like this. Vegomer, etc. 18 point. Velama niskar pa'am acheret, and why is it mentioned another time? Point. It is correct just to let him translate everything, and we translate with Hasulam the Zohar, and then we will see what we can add to it. 18 point. And in the same way, try to learn everything in what you are studying in spirituality. Zohar. First, let the great Kabbalist to lead you. Don't try to want to maneuverate him in your direction. Be very smooth and absorb every word and every direction he wants you to follow. Even when you feel that it's not logical in your according to you. 18. Velama niskar pa'am acheret, and why is it mentioned another time? Point. Hu chedei lehotzi 19. Chamisha alin kashim. This is in order to bring out Chamisha alin kashim, 5 tough or rigid leaves. Hamisavavim et Shoshana, that surround the Shoshana, the lily. Point 20. Ve'eilu chameshet ha'alim nikraim yeshuot vehem chamisha 21 sharim ועל סוד זה כתוב כוס ישועות אשא 22 זוהי כוס של ברכה. Point 20 ואלו חמשת העלים, and these 5 leaves Nikraim Yeshuot are called Yeshuot, salvations. Vehem Chamisha 21 Sharim, and they are 5 gates. Val Sod Ze Katuv, and about this secret is written Kos Yeshuot Esa, a cup of salvations I will rise. I will rise up. 22. Zohi Kos Shel Bracha, that is a cup of benediction. Bracha. Bracha is a very important word for us. Just try to remember this. Don't just learn from to remember, just how do you call it, out your heart to remember these words, but recognition. Recognize words first, recognition of words, and then they are just coming into you. You don't need just to remember them by repeating them more and more. Just look at this word, how it's written, how it sounds, confront it, try to absorb it. Point. Uh, 22 after the point. Kos shel bracha tzricha 23 ligyot al chamesh etzbaot velo yoter kmo 24 ha-shoshana ha-yoshevet al chamisha alim kashim shehem 25 kneged chamesh etzbaot. Point. Try to be completely concentrated from within yourself, because already by that you receive already the light, benedictions, everything, even without your understanding of anything. Because there are different levels of interaction between the higher and the lower, even between the people, because Now I read this and I make myself receptive for what I'm reading. From within myself. Transparent. And so I receive it abundantly. And you can just receive it from me if you install yourself from within to want to receive it. And then you will add another dimension of understanding, of other spiritual perceptions, what he will explain us later, and maybe I will give some details that would enlighten the question in matter. Point 25. Till the point we read it. 22, yes? Kos shel bracha. The cup, a cup of benediction, of bracha, tzricha, 23, ligyot al chamesh etzbaot, has to stand, but literally is, has to be upon the chamesh etzbaot, upon 5 fingers, velo yoter, and not more. Kmo 24 HaShoshana, as Shoshana, just as Shoshana, Hayoshevet, that is settled, al chamisha alin kashim, upon 5 roughly or rigid leaves. Shehem 25 kneget chamisha etzbaot, that they are opposite of 5 fingers. Point. V'shoshana zo hi kos shel 26 bracha. Point. And this Shoshana, he kos is a cup shel bracha, of benediction. 26 after the point. Mihashem Elokim Hasheni, ad Shem Elokim 27 Hashlishi, Chamesh milim. 26 Mi Hashem Elokim Hasheni, from the name Elokim, from the second name of Elokim. Ad Shem Elokim 27 Hashlishi, up till the third name Elokim, Chamesh milim. There are 5 words. Point. Shehen. See, and he gives some additional information. Shehen, double point. Marachevet al pnei 28 Hamayim Vayomer. Point. That these are double point. Marachevet, hover, yeah, hovering, that they are hover upon, above, better to say, that they are hover above the surface of waters. 28. Vayomer, and he says. So we have 5 words. You see, marachefet, he hovers, and then al is the second word, pnei the third, 28. Hamayim is the fourth, and vayomer is the 5. 5 words between this, the second and the third mentioning of the name Elohim in the Torah. Point. Shehen kneget hei alim hanal, that these 5 words, that these literally, that these are opposite of 5 alim, 5 leaves, as said above. Point. Mikan 29. Ulehala sheneemar Elokim Yihi or Vegomer Hu 30. Haor she nivra v'nignas v'nichlal bebrit hahu she nichnas 31 bashoshana v'hotzi ba'zera v'ze nikra etz ose 32 pri Asher Zar'o Bo. 28. After the last point. Mikan 29. Ulehala, from here and on. Yes? And further. Sheneibar, that it is written in the Torah. Is further written Elohim is written or Yihi, or how do you call it, how do you say it in English, Yihi, or let it be light. Vegomer and etc. Let there be light. Who 30. Haor shenivra, this is the light. Shenivra, that was created. Venignas, and was hidden, concealed. V'nichlal b'brit hahu, and is entered in this brit, in this covenant. Shenichnas b'shoshana, which is entered into the Shoshana. V'hotzi v'azera, and brought in her seed. Brought in her seed out. V'ze nikra etz, and this is called etz, a tree, ose pri, a tree that makes fruits, that make fruit, asher zar obo, that its seed is in it. Point. Vahazera hahu nimtza baot 33 brit mamash. And this seed is situated really in the odd brit, in the sign of the brit, in the sign of this covenant. A great deal of words and comparisons he brought here, the Zohar brought here in this oath. And this very, very important what he said here, and it is also connected to what was before. And now listen how he explains it to us. He explains his language is very simple. He doesn't want to show any intellectuality. Just he explains us in order that we would feel it. Look, the left column, the line 1. And now he starts explaining things. Biur hadvarim, the explanation of words. Before I start with this, I want to remind our English-speaking students that over there in America they translated the plain text of Zohar. It is good translations, of course it's good translation. But it's only translation of the Zohar. But there is nothing of Hasulam. You understand? Just I tell it to you that don't rush immediately to buy all these 21 or 23 volumes, I think, that are issued over there in the United States. Because they will not help you. Why? Because it's only translation of the plain text of Zohar, and they give some very short, just several words of explanation that doesn't help at all. That's only explanation. I don't know how they came to these words, how they came to explain this in such a way that doesn't help no one. They bring it as if it's something material, physical world that has nothing to do with it. And even though it's just several words would accompany a page of Zohar or even more. So you are warned very friendly not to use other things. You can use this translation if you want, but even then, Biur Advarim, the explanation of words. Chamesh alin takifin, double point. Chamesh alin takifin, 5 rigid leaves, double point. 2 Hey Sfirot, no, it's not good. Hey, hu sod, hey gvurot shel hanukva, shehen eser sfirot, de or chozer. 3 Shehanukva Mala al yidei zivug de haka'a Ba'or 4 Ha'ilyon Hanikra or shel din. 5 Ki eser hasfirot de or yashar Nikraot Hei chasadim chagat na. 6 Vehen mitlapshot Bahei gvurot chagat na deor chozer. 7 Ve'eilu chamesh alin takifin hen Kochot hadin shebamasach. 8 Hameakev et haor ha'ilyon mihitlabesh mimasach 9 ulemata. Point. We will just finish this alinea, how do you call it? Alinea. Yeah, huh? Just this fragment, we will finish up till the line 12, and then I will give some additional explanations. 2. Line 2. What does it mean? He says, Chamesh alin takifin. He said, 5 rigid leaves. What does it mean? 2. Who thought this is a secret or essence of it is Hey Gvurot. You see, the first word is who thought. This is the way how the abbreviations are made in the Holy Language. You see, there are 2 words, and that's why these 2 words are connected to each other by 2 apostrophes. So, who thought, it means this is a secret of, and then the next one is also an abbreviation. These are standard abbreviations. Hey Gvurot. Hey, the letter Hey means 5. The gematria is 5. So Hey and Gimel is Gvurot. 5 Gvurot Shel Hanukva. These are 5 Gvurot of the Nukva. First I will translate it, and then we will try to add something that it will be more clearly. Hey, again, 2. Who thought this is a secret of Hey Gvurot, of 5 Gvurot, Shel Hanukva, of the Nukva, Shehen, that they are Eser Sfirot, again an abbreviation, Eser Sfirot, 10 Sfirot, the or Chozer, of, again abbreviation, of the or Chozer, of the reflected light. 3. Shehanukva mala, that the nukva rised, that the nukva ascended. Al yidei zivug de haka'a, by the zivug de haka'a. Ba'or elyon, in the highlight, upper light, towards upper light, for Hanikra or Sheldin, that this, the name of it is Or Sheldin, the name of this reflected light is Or Sheldin, the light of din, of severity. 5. Ki Eser HaSfirot, because the 10 Sfirot, the Or Yashar, of the upper, of the direct light, Nikraot are called Hey Chasadim, 5 Chasadim, Chagat Na, Chesed Gvura Tiferet Netzach Hod. 6. Vehen Mitlapshot, and they are settled in Bahei Gvurot, in 5 Gvurot. They are clothed, you can say, or settled in 5 Gvurot, Chagatna, Chesed Gvura Tiferet Netzach Hod, the Orchoser of the reflected light. 7. Ve'eilu Chamesh Alin Takifin, and these 5 leaves are rigid, or better to say, and these 5 rigid leaves are kochot, are strengths, powers, hadin, powers of severity, Sheba the strength of severity that is in the Masach, in the screen. Ait. Hameakev eta or elyon, that afhouden, that afhouden, that keep the light, keep the highlight from the settling, from the closing in the Masach 9 and below. Actually, they prevent. I will just explain it. Yes, I will just explain it. One more sentence or 2 sentences like this, and we will go on. I will try to explain. 9 point. Ve'al ken nikra ata rak hey nikra ve'al ken again nikraot ata rak hey alinta kifin 10 ki od eina reuya lezivug aleim. Point. Valken, and that's why nikraot ata, they are called now rak only hey alinta kifin, 5 rigid leaves. 10. Ki od eina reuya lezivuk alehem, because she is not geschikt, she is not suited for a zivug, for a copulation, but remember these words, zivug, with them, above them. Point. O vazman, 11. Hagadlut, kasha masach ba bazivug im haor ha'elyon. 12. Hem nikraot he gvorot. Point. Kanal. Point. 10. After the point. Uvazman hagadlut, and in the time of gadlut, in the time of the great state or grown up state. Kasha hamasach ba bazivug im haor ha'elyon, when the masach comes into zivug with the upper light. 12. Hem nikraot, these leaves, nikraot, are called Hei gvurot, 5 gvurot. Point. Kanal, as said above. I can imagine that this is completely ununderstandable. What's going on? What he speaks about? But he gives the Zohar goes further, and further with the developing of the Shoshana. We learned that the Shoshana, in her smallest state, had only one point of hair above in the Atzilut, only Keter, and 9 lower points of hair, we can say Sfirot, were immersed in the world Bria, were lowered in the world Bria. So that was the state of Katnut. The whole meaning is to grow. Look in our world. Everything is first is born small, has no power, depends on others, on parents. And look at the tendency, everything wants to become independent. Because our source is completely independent. So we are independent. It's our nature, independence. And to become grown up, to receive power, what we can. And nothing wrong with this. Only we need to use all these powers and all our skills positively, constructive. The same way is what he tells us about the Nukva. And he tells us the structure or the building up of the Nukva from the first time in the world Atzilut. It's because it was necessary only the first time to build it up. And then it was built it up for a certain degree from above, actually without the assistance of a human being. Because it was before the creation of Adam and Chava. So the Ein Sof itself build it up all this operational system from above, as an example how afterwards the souls will rise up and bring themselves in conformity with the upper light, and in such a way they will progress towards their fulfillment. And so we see this step by step, the Zohar unfolds this process of development of the Nukva. And now he brings here the narration about the relationship with this Nukva and Zeir Anpin, more precisely the Yesod of Zeir Anpin, because the Nukva receives everything from the Yesod of Zeir Anpin. And that's what he says, that's why he says, Ulevatar, and afterwards. This ot starts with a word, with a term, just not a word, but afterwards. In the Hebrew, is it ve'achar kach? If you look at the line 16, after the double point, you see also the abbreviation. Achar kach. You see, ve'achar kach. And achar kach means afterwards. Aleph, het, and then double apostrophe, and kaf means afterwards. It's not just something like a story when we are using such adverbs like afterwards and like this, but here means in the Kabbalah means that this means the next step, the course and a result. That is good. A course of something, a reason, a course, and a consequence or a result of it. So now achar kach means after this, after the Shoshana or the Nukva had been in Katnut, when only one point, one sphera of hair out of 10 was in the Atzilut. And now the next step. What is the next step? It means that she develops herself in a similar way like the lily does, water lily. And so she grows up and she receives 5 rigid leaves. They are rigid, rough. Why? This is, by that, he provides some information of growing up, the process of the growing up of the resistance, the power of resistance in the Nukva or in the Shoshana. You see, we say Nukva, we say Shoshana. Shoshana we say in order to feel it, to make this comparison between the growing up of the water lily and the Nukva. The first one is material growth, and Nukva is a spiritual object. And what is growing up in here? The resistance to let the light enter here, because she has not yet the power to receive the light. When a spiritual body or a spiritual level doesn't have the power to receive the light on the kosher way, just receive it in accordance with its masach, with its anti-egoistic power that it builds upon itself, upon its perceptive organs. And the perceptive organ in the spirituality is the screen. Then it doesn't receive. Then it just receives the light, just reflects that light, smashes it, as it were, above the own masach, which masach has no power still, but only to resist the light coming into it. And that's what is, and this is the next step that the Zohar tells us. The appearance of the 5 rigid leaves. 5 leaves means 5 sphirot. Everything exists of the basic 5 sphirot. And that's what he tells us. But the 5 sphirot are Keter, Chochma, Bina, Zeir Anpin, and Malchut. But the nukva, this nukva, we call it this, the feminine part, the feminine sphera of the five, of the Atzilut. The whole Atzilut has also five sferot. You can see it as the basic five sferot. Naturally, they are five partsufim. Everyone has 10 sferot, and we will see furthermore what it means. How is built up Atzilut. But, and we call here nukva. Why nukva? Nukva is a feminine nukva. It means feminine part comes from a word nekev, the opening. And nukva means that she is not yet grown up to become, to come into the grown-up state of Gadlut. In the Gadlut, we call here Malchut. Malchut means the kingship. Kingship has everything in itself. But sometimes we call it this or this, but here we call it nukva because she is in a small state. And nukva receives from the Anpin, yes, because every lower level receives from the next level, the upper next level. It's impossible to receive from 2 levels above. It can be that the light can come from 2 levels above, or even more, but only the next above level passes this light to the lower adjacent lower level. So, who is adjacent high level above the nukva? Yesod of Zeir Anpin. And Zeir Anpin, what means Zeir Anpin? Zeir Anpin is the body of a partsuf. It means without the head, without the Keter, Chochmah, and Binah. Zeir Anpin is in between the high levels, the head, we call it, Keter, Chochmah, Binah, and the nukva, or Malchut, we say it, let's say Malchut, in general. Because the Malchut is the receiver, the actual receiver of all the lights, because only Malchut needs the Chochmah, and the Chochmah is the light of life. The creation is actually the Malchut. She is combined, of course. The world means these two together, because the world can exist only when two are together, like in our world. The world can exist and go on, develop itself, where in the world where there are two genders, a masculine and feminine. And every person must also have in itself developed these two. In the same way is also the world Olam means Zeranpin and Nukva of the Atzilut together. But the receiver of light is Malchut. And this Malchut of the Atzilut transports the light to all the lower levels and receivers of light. But now he tells us about the hair growing up the first time, up till she will be builded up in the Atzilut, then whereby she will receive some, and also he explains the mechanism how she's growing up, and we will learn that we learned a little bit, just what I told in a couple of words, and provided it on the illustrations of the world Nekudim, that was shattered, the shattering of the Kelim of the Nekudim. We don't have time here to stand to speak too much about this, but we will speak more and more about this when it is necessary. That afterwards came the world Atzilut, the world of correction, and this world Atzilut was built up in the way that as masculine and feminine. From the right was masculine and from the left is feminine. Just notice it. But after the world Atzilut was built up from above, because first was it built up from above, because there was no Adam, was no man, as the Torah states it, that, and there was no rain yet, and it's written like this, and Elohim didn't rain upon the earth, because there was no man, no Adam, to work out the soil or ground. What does it mean? Because there was no man, there was not created Adam. And that's why everything was built up from above. And the Nukva and Zeranpin was created, everything was built up, and the finishing touch, the Ein Sof left to finish it, the human being is the only creature that is appointed to finish the building up of all the four lower worlds to their perfection. So this nukva, we are speaking about this nukva here separately or before the appearance of Adam, of a human being on earth. Because then, once the Atzilut is built up, so the three lower worlds, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiya, then was not anymore the way how what he tells now us in another way, then by rising up, by ascending among prayer by human being. Only this, the awakening from beneath, from below, brings the nukva to growth. And this nukva, this is the Shekhinah, the divine presence, and by bringing the man, she grows up, as it were, and she comes in contact closer to the Ziranpin, and Ziranpin wants her to give her light. Then there is an incentive to give the light to her, and she provides it here to all her lower parts, her children, Ziranpin and Nukva, etc. The worlds, the souls that are in the worlds of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya. And so the first appearance of her, the next step of her is that there appears 5 rigid leaves in her. It means that now she has already the ability to withstand the light, to provide the resistance, to be resistant, not to let the light come in, because she doesn't have still the power to receive it. And that's what he tells us, and how she supposed to receive the light from whom she can receive the light from Yesod of Zeranpin. The Yesod is the foundation. Zeranpin is built up, Zeranpin and Nukva. In the same way, also the human race is built up in the same way, because we are the children of Zeranpin and Nukva. So Zeranpin and Nukva has the structure is a partsuf. They are both partsufim. The structure of Zeranpin and structure of Nukva. She must grow up to come into the state of Gadlut, and this brings also Zeranpin in the state of Gadlut, because normally Zeranpin has only 6 sfirot and she only 1. So he has only, actually not 6 sfirot, he has 6/10 of himself. It means also Gadlut, but he doesn't need anymore for himself. normally he has only his build, his quality, is only to receive the light chasadim, light of mercy. But she needs the nukva or the malchut, she needs the light of chokhmah, and he must provide it to her. So now that's why the Zohar tells us about her, the nukva, and also about the yesod of the Iranpin, from where she receives the seed. You remember seed. Seed is what he gives to her. It's a kind of light that he gives to her, and she, as it were, conceives of it, and it grows in her. But in order to receive the seed, she must first come into the gadlut, into the grown-up state, because there is a principle that children can't take birth. Yeah, children can make zivug in such a way that to take birth, that's why she is growing slowly, what what the Zohar tells us. First appears these 5 leaves. And that's what he says. These 5 leaves, the left column, the line 2, he said to us, this is the secret of 5 hey gvurot, of 5 gvurot of the nukva. Gvura means the power of severity, din. Or din or gvura, we can use it both. Severity, but gvura is also, gvura, resistance, power of resistance. Severity also. So she gets it here, these 5, and this is the reference of the 5 rigid leaves. Why they are rigid? Because she rises them up, and the light, and in the way that it is or hoser, reflected light. What does she reflect? She reflects the light what comes to her, what wants penetrate her, the light of chasadim, of Zeir Anpin. Yes, Zeir Anpin has the quality of chesed, mercy, not mercy, loving kindness, and but this is light already. This is light that comes from above downwards, and this is always the light that comes from above downwards is the masculine light, and the light what comes from as a reflection from below upwards is the light of or hoser, of reflected light, of a feminine light, the light of the severity, because it comes from the, as it were, from the out of the begrenzing, out of the restriction. And that's what she does. So the light comes from the Anpin, and she reflects this light in a way that she only says no. No, I'm not able to receive this light. I like to receive this light, but I have no power yet. And that's what he said. That's why, and these 5 leaves, this is the Masach. What she built it up now, what she has built, has been built up till now, only to reflect it, this light, what comes upon her surface, upon her Masach. And this 5 leaves, this is the Masach, this is the screen that she built it up. And the next step will be that she would be able to come to build her to the state of the Gadlut, and then these 5 leaves will be transformed in 5 Gvurot, in 5 Sfirot of her that qualify the Nukva. Her quality is Gvurot, is this severity, but this is also a kind of Chokhmah, what she has when she builds herself. But she needs Zeir Anpin to sweeten these Gvurot. The severity is beautiful, can be very beautiful. You know, the power of the law is great. Look how people very often have respect and trembling before the court. Now maybe less, but it's tremendous. But when you see, when the king is not only powerful and mighty and dangerous, I mean, he can punish his citizens, but when you see that he powerful is, and still that he performs mercy, this makes his quality become useful and bring life into his kingship. The same is with the Nukwa. She needs Zeir Anpin to give her loving kindness, and this sweetens her natural Gvurot, powers of severity. And there are many other aspects that we will go on with them in our next lesson. Just we will start from, we have already had translations. I explained a little bit of this. Then we need to go back to Elohim, the second name of Elohim, how it works, what does it mean, etc., etc. Remember, be receptive, accept it, try to go above your mind, above your intellect. And this is a hard way to do. And step by step you will learn it, and you will receive all good things, and the benedictions, everything what we learn here. You will just receive it within yourself, and this will work in yourself, and this will give you more power, because it will bring you from the absolute katnut, state of katnut in every state, into the step by step in the gadlut, and then it will bring you again in the lowest state of the katnut, but on the higher level, one more level higher level. And then again you will feel that you are small, that you can't grasp it. And then again a new cycle will go on with your growing up of your grasping things and of your making yourself receptive to what you are learning. Because what we are learning is Ein Sof in all his manifestations.